Radical Radio Collective.
Good afternoon, listeners. You're tuned into 4ZZZ on 102.1 FM, and this is Eco Radio, Australia's longest-running peace and environment radio show. Maybe.
Oh no, I think it's pretty probable at the moment. Like we've got evidence of a show, an environment show on 4ZZZ in 1976.
Do you think we would be able to, like, because it's been effectively been running since the 76 for with a bit of a gap in there somewhere? Do you think we could take the crown for longest running environment or peace show now?
Oh,
like continuous? We could fit into
make the definition broader. And then we can just fit anything into it.
Australia's longest running peace or environment radio show. Yeah, for both of them rather than just the both of them together.
Yeah,
we'll take it anyway.
That's how gold medals work.
I'm putting
you
the medal on our own.
Just got to make the definition really broad.
We are taking over your middle of the day in the middle of your week airwaves towards the end of the month.
Towards the end of the month, but not quite.
Not quite. My name is Zack, and my pronouns are he, they.
My name's Dave, my pronouns are he, him.
And I want to start off by acknowledging and paying my respects to the custodians of the country on which we broadcast. We are located in the city Magangin on Turrbal Yuggera Ugarapul land. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are listening in today. Our radio waves reach Kabi Kabi and Jinambara country in the north, Waka Waka country in the west. In the east, we pay our respects to the Quandamooka people, and down south, we reach Combimari, Nagaragwal, Mununjali, Wanjira and Yugambeh countries. There is no Crown land.
Yeah, there is actually quite a big reach in 4ZZZ's radio waves. I was listening to an interview the other night that said they were picking it up from Maleny. So,
damn.
Yeah, so up there on the sunny coast there.
Yeah. Inland a bit as well,
yeah.
Because I think on the coast it probably reaches up a bit further, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So, yeah, quite a big reach in the radio waves.
Today on the program, though, we'll be having a chat with John Knights from Koala Rescue Brisbane South Inc., a relatively new koala rescue organisation located in Brisbane South. Surprisingly, you wouldn't be able to tell that by the name.
Yeah, and they've got a event coming up this weekend as well.
Yes, that one is called the Great Koala Count. It's taking place at Whites Hill Reserve.
Yeah, nice. That's Whites Hill is a great population of koalas, and unfortunately, they also have koala deaths every now and then.
I don't want to say frequently, but it's like once every 1 or every 4 or 5 days or something like that.
Is it really?
I remember I drove past there recently. I think there was something 90 in the past year.
Oh, jeez.
Like maybe not deaths, and maybe that's incidents.
Yeah.
But still not
great.
Kind amount. But yeah, we'll be having that one with John Knights coming up soon.
The weekly dose of science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the second one. Well played.
Shut up.
Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favourite podcasting app. That's spelled K-N-O-W, like no idea. It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
We just heard from local band Private Function with their brand new song Koala, which was released relatively recently, and we're very thankful for that because of today's theme being about koalas. But on the line with us, I have John Knights. John Knights is from the Koala Rescue Brisbane South Inc. Do you want to say hi, John?
G'day, everybody.
Beauty. So thank you so much for joining us today. Now, from what I understand, Koala Rescue Brisbane South is a relatively new koala rescue organisation. Kind of like, how did it come into existence?
Oh, I've been rescuing koalas on and off, on mostly for probably about 12 years, and each year I drag a few people along to help me, and then they disappear. But eventually, over the last couple of years, I've put together a bit of a hardcore team of people that are interested in doing what we do on a regular basis. So recently we formed an incorporated association, and we're just going through all the teething problems of the paperwork and the government rules and regulations, and I put together a steering committee to do that. I have nothing to do with that.
No. All the bureaucracy.
Yeah. But we're getting there. We've got everybody insured, and we've been running information workshops, and we've got about 30 members now, I think.
Solid number.
I hope they're all going to come along and help me save a few koalas.
Yeah. So has there been an uptick in koala incidents in Brisbane South recently as well?
Over the last couple of years, yes. And two reasons, really. One of them is an increase in the breeding numbers. We've had several severe rain events, which creates more really healthy, nutritious trees in the existing green areas. And the healthier the trees, the healthier the koalas, the healthier the reproductive cycle. So, but the other reason, so we see more joeys, more misplaced koalas, because they're looking for somewhere to live and there isn't anywhere. And then up comes the council and says, okay, you can knock down that old house, clear all the vegetation off the property and put a couple of houses on there. So all that vegetation, not necessarily gumlet trees, they like leopard trees and mango trees, all sorts of trees. They like the gum trees, of course, because that's what they eat. So they're wandering around looking for a home, and that's when they get into trouble. So probably 60 or 70% of the calls we get are about koalas where they shouldn't be. So it's just a matter of catching them, checking them out and relocating them. And then we get lots of calls from people who've never seen a koala before, and we have to go and see what to do. And a lot of the time we just say, yep, it's okay, they live here, we know about this area, and they'll be fine, thanks for calling. And then we get the ones that are hit by cars because they don't know what traffic is, and they're wandering around looking for somewhere to go. And the survival rate there is not good. And then we get the diseased ones. And that's a come and go situation, but the disease that causes the greatest fatality rate, mortality rate, is chlamydia. And that's sexually transmitted. So when you've had a very healthy mating season, you get lots of disease following that up. And if we can get them early enough, a large amount of time they can be saved. But if they disappear into the bush and we don't find them until the disease is advanced, there is not much hope for them, unfortunately. But by far the greatest problem I see is blocks of land being cleared of any form of vegetation so that a koala or a possum or an echidna or a snake has got nowhere to hide through the day. So as they transit from one area to another where they hope to find a feed or a home, they get stuck and go, what do I do now? And then they get killed.
Yeah. So Tui Forest, White Seal Reserve and Carindale all form what's referred to as the Triangle of Death in South Brisbane, correct?
Yeah, that's a bit dramatic. I mean,
okay.
It's also the Triangle of New Life.
Okay.
And we've got Mount Gravatt Lookout in that triangle as well. We've got lots of koalas in those areas, but when breeding time comes and they start to wander around, males and females, really their choices are fairly limited as to where they can go to find a mate. So in the suburbs, say, around Carindale, Mount Gravatt, Holland Park, Cooperoo, people find them in their backyards wandering around. And we know that they do that, and we know mostly where they're going to be. and they're heading to or from a mating destination. And we don't know how they know how that mating destination works, because they're not the cleverest animal on the planet. But it happens every year in the same areas. So all we can do is hope people find us, call us, and we can get there in time to save them. We've got a couple of passive ways of saving the koalas without actually having to put them through the drama of a rescue, transport and release. And they're working quite well, but they're very labour intensive. But now we've got some volunteers, hopefully we can save a few that way.
So I think one of the main things that we were discussing just then is just this lack of habitat connectivity. Kind of how can those wildlife corridors, which is what the term is referred to, where you get like a little bit of habitat connecting larger pockets of forest, how can those wildlife corridors be improved in the area?
Well, I don't know that it can, because the damage is done, the roads are in, the commuters are using the roads. We're talking about roads that have been there historically for years. And as the population of the koalas increases, then the fact that they haven't got the connectivity is becoming more and more obvious. Like probably 10 years ago, when there were a lot less koalas, it wasn't such a problem. But now, I mean, one of the worst roads is Boundary Road, between Cavendish Road and Samuel Street. And we've had the speed limit reduced from 80 to 70, so now they're only doing 90, you know? So we get koalas on the suburban side of Boundary Road, in the same pocket of trees, on the edge of the road, waiting for night time to cross the road when there's traffic. And we've got traffic in the sports field, coming and going from soccer and touch football, and people ripping up and down Boundary Road. So when we get a call about a koala in a tree there, it's not safe enough to attempt to rescue, but what we do is wade across the road, and each time the koala looks like coming down the tree, we whack the tree with a stick and it runs back up to the top of the tree. And we sit there and we watch that koala till 11, 12 o'clock at night. When there's no traffic, then we go home, and hopefully the koala comes down while there's no traffic and is safe. And we think we save about 40 or 50 koalas a year like that. And it's quite a novel approach, but we've been doing it now for, I think this will be the third year we've been doing it seriously. And I think we could take credit for saving a lot of lives. We've got members of the public now that know about this and call us and tell us. And the other problem is funding. Nobody gives us any money. And that's the same with every wildlife organisation, I should think, in Australia. So it's just, put up with it, really. And I don't know how we can improve connectivity. We can't force people to plant gum trees, because no builders like to plant gum trees, no plumbers like gum trees, no local authorities like gum trees anywhere near any service lines, sewerage or water or stormwater, because of the root system. But even if they planted safe trees that don't interfere with that, at least the wildlife would have somewhere to go. And if, for instance, if a tree is ideal for a koala to eat the leaves, and they get all their nutrition and hydration from the leaves at the top of the tree, if that's a good tree for a koala, that means that it's a good tree for all the species, other arboreal species, the snakes, the possums, the gliders, the birds, the insects, the lizards, the bacteria. And so they all thrive. But if it's not a good tree for koalas, it's probably just not a good tree for a lot of other things. So, and koalas are considered to be an umbrella species for that. And we need more. And I don't know where we're going to put them. Right now we've got a major issue where, with the upcoming Olympics, we've got the whitewater elephant at Birkdale, for instance, where they're planning on decimating koala habitat to put in a whitewater rafting area for the Olympics that'll be used for only a few days, and then nobody knows what's going to happen to it after that. And it's right in koala habitat, which we thought council had bought to be a public amenity on an environmentally based park with educational facilities and coffee shops and educational things for kids and picnic areas. And that's what we were all led to believe. But unfortunately, the previous mayor said, what a great idea. Oh, you're getting a whitewater park. There's no water, there's no power, there's no plans that we can see or get access to see how it's going to work or where exactly it's going to be placed, surrounded by secrecy. In the meantime, there are koalas there. Nobody seems to care.
Are you concerned about the future of koalas in South Brisbane?
Yes and no. I think the stock will mainly survive but struggle. And I think the number of koalas that we find in misplaced locations, and in those misplaced locations they're under threat of death or serious injury in trying to get to a good location, I think there'll be more of those. But right now the breeding stock is healthy, but I think in the long term we will see a downturn in that, and eventually, yes, we'll see diminishing numbers. The problem with it being sexually transmitted is that if all the breeding pairs, or the randy males and the females, are within the same forest area, one infects another, infects another, and bang, this time next year all dead if we don't get them in time. That's probably going to be the major problem, in that too many koalas in too confined an area spreading disease. And I don't know how we solve that. We can solve, for instance, the boundary road traffic problem by spending a few $1 million on a proper land crossing for wildlife, and that would stop all the ones that are being killed. We've had council put up some fauna exclusion fencing along there. We need more there. We need fauna exclusion fencing along Pine Mountain Road where the quarries are. That's where we get lots of calls of koalas crossing the road and koalas being killed by cars. It's nobody's looking at the big picture, and nobody's coming to us, the rescuers, in any area. And I speak to other rescue groups all over southeast Queensland, and it's the same problem. Nobody talks to the boots on the ground people that are out there day and night saving these animals. They look at statistics and data, and they cobble together statements that make you think that they care. But, you know, I think the function of government is to be seen to be doing something with no requirement to actually achieve anything, particularly in the ecological world.
I can't disagree with that, but to shift to the Great Koala Count that's taking place at Whites Hill Reserve this weekend, what can people expect from this?
I think people can expect to see, if it's a sunny day, the koalas are quite visible, but if it's a dull day, they're very hard to spot in a tree. But there'll be lots of people there that walk Whites Hill regularly, and they say to me, oh, we only saw 12 today, John. They're people that can see a koala in a tree. So I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with the numbers. I mean, the number of mums and bubs with joeys that we saw towards the end of last year's breeding season and early this year tells me that there's going to be lots of koalas in there to see, far more than people think. And if that becomes a population explosion and more koalas start wandering away looking for somewhere to go, then the species will be under threat in that area. You know, it's too much of a good thing sometimes, but it's a good idea. It gets people engaged in what we're about. I've worked in and around wildlife ever since I was a kid in England, and people don't see wildlife. You know, people that are interested in it go looking for it. But people don't go out and go, oh, there's a koala, or there's a zebra, or there's a giraffe, whatever. So this really brings any publicity that we can get about our work, the work of other rescue organisations, and the work of organisations like that put together things like the Great Koala Count, and they do one on Stratty. That's very successful and lots of good publicity. I think people will be surprised by the numbers. And the general health of the koalas at the moment seems to be good. I think we took out less diseased koalas this year than last year. And we've had a reasonable survival rate. We've had some poor sad rates, but I mean, I picked one up the other morning, couldn't find out what was wrong with him, and he died because he was old. I mean, what a great thing to happen. You know? And that's a good sign when we're finding koalas like that.
It is. Sorry, John, keep going.
Well, what we need to do is for more people in decision-making processes to actually kid us that they really do care about all of our wildlife. You save one animal of any species, lots of other species will benefit from the endeavours to create a safer situation for that animal. So if you save an area for koalas, there'll be thousands of other species that benefit from it. As I said, possums and birds and snakes and lizards, bacteria. We can encourage councils in the parks where there are gum trees not to mow up to the trees, but to mulch around the base of the trees. And that mulch will create bacterial activity in the subsoil, the substrate, that will create healthier food sources and nutritional values for the tree and for the animals. But when they mow up to every tree in a park, because it's neat and tidy, the tree struggles to feed itself. And then the animals turn up and say, well, what do we eat then? Because your leaves are no good, mate. There's lots and lots of simple things that could be done. They could put in the areas where we frequently have more koalas seen crossing the road, they could spend more time clearing the herbage and the vegetation from the sides of the road so that when a koala emerges, it can be seen. But on some roads, Pine Mountain at the moment, for instance, a koala emerges from the knee-high, waist-high grass, and it's in the middle of the road just about before you can see it. If all the verges are mowed and slashed and maintained, then maybe we could reduce the impact by improving the visibility of the animal. More street lighting, better lower speed limits, speed cameras, tracking cameras. But people getting off their arse and really doing something that matters rather than just banging on about it. I mean, I get a grant every year from Brisbane City Council. It needs to be 4 times that amount just to pay my fuel bill. And all the funding applications and the grant applications are so complex. And it just, to me, and I'm not very tech savvy, as you've probably worked out, almost impossible to get. And we're all self-funded. And there's lots of ways they could make it better, and they could encourage the people that get the research grants and the scientists and the people that work with the unis. We could get them to talk to people like us about what really happens in the bush, instead of just looking at a pie chart of what happens to koalas. I mean, sometimes their opinions that they form are so far from actual reality as to wonder where they get the information. You know?
Yeah. So just to finish up here, John, the organisation is run by volunteers, and I imagine more people are always welcomed. What options are there for people to join? Pardon?
Sorry?
Oh, kind of like what options are there for people to get involved with the with Koala Rescue Brisbane South?
Well, if they just go to Facebook, that seems to be our publicity vehicle and marketing vehicle. contact us through Facebook Messenger after they've found the site. It's called Koala Rescue Brisbane South Inc. And show their interest. We will contact them. Some of the admin people will contact them. I'll call them and talk to them. And I've just put on a series of information workshops for people to talk about what we do, why we do it, and how we do it, and how I want you to be prepared to leave your dinner table at your mum's birthday party because I need you to help rescue a koala. And that seems to have worked well. I think we've successfully recruited maybe 10 people over the last 2 or 3 workshops. So we want people that are willing, able to come along and learn how to do it. We want people to help with admin. We want people to help with keeping the book. We need people that know how to write grants, how to ask and beg for money. We need people that can just have a koala cage, and when I say I need transport, they'll come with their empty koala cage. I'll swap it for a cage with a koala in it, and off they go to the wildlife hospital. We need people to do that. We'll supply the cages. I'll supply the cages. We need people to come and tree sit for jobs like Boundary Road in pairs for a couple or 3 hours, whatever they can commit. Wait till the traffic calms down, see the koala coming down, whack the tree with a stick, chase it back up till they ring me or whoever the rescuer is, and hopefully by the end of this season I'll have some more people that I'm happy can make decisions on behalf of the koalas. And we'll just build an organisation. This is a foundation group, and I want to retire eventually. So if we can build this up this year, next year, in the future, we could be an organisation that provides a fantastic service to the members of public. If you call now to say, I'm standing under this tree at this address and there's a koala here, what should I do? I can get somebody to you within 15 to 20 minutes if you're in our catchment area, who are just a first responder who knows nothing about anything to start with, and they will call me. I will ask them a series of questions, and they know what those questions are going to be, and based on the answers to those questions, I could determine then what has to happen next. And I think after we've been doing this for a year or two, we will be making a huge impact on the lives and sustainability of our koalas.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today, John.
Well, I hope it's been informative, and I hope everybody wants to send us lots of money.
I hope so.
We've got a GoFundMe page going up on the site as well.
Go and donate to that if you want to support John's efforts to saving the koalas in Brisbane South.
Yes, send me your life savings.
Up next, we're going to be listening to...
I had brown paper bags.
Up next, we're going to be listening to Song for the Koala by Dave Norman.
Attention local brands, bands and businesses. Are you sick of advertising on Facebook? Ever wish there was a better way to get the word out about your amazing products or services? Hit up 4ZZZ. We've got our finger on the pulse of the local community. We can get your message out there to the people who need to hear it with the help of our sponsorship campaigns. Want to know more? Hit up sponsorship at 4ZZZ.org.au for details. That's sponsorship at 4ZZZ.org.au. We help you spread the word, and you help us keep community radio alive. It's a win-win.
You are tuned into Eco Radio on 4ZZZ, and we just heard from Dave Norman with his song for the Koala.
That's nice.
It is. It's very peaceful, but also quite sad. It talks about how like kangaroos can hop away, but koalas in the tree, they will stay.
Yeah, they're a lot more sedentary.
Yeah, they can't escape as easy as the olden kangaroo.
Yeah. Yeah, mainly because they're not getting a lot of energy out of eucalyptus leaves, and it takes a lot of their energy just to break it down in their stomachs.
They sleep 18 hours a day, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, if only I was a koala. I probably wouldn't be a koala anyway. I'd probably mostly be a drop bear because I'm a bit scary to look at.
A bit creepy.
Ugly, yeah.
You scare people in the middle of the night?
jump up on people occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to log this for criminal proceedings in the future.
Well, if you want to not spend money on my criminal proceedings and instead want to donate it to 4ZZZ, you can
Perfect segue.
You can head to 4ZZZ.org.au/support. You can subscribe for as little as $25 for an under 18-year-old or a pet, or it doesn't even need to be a pet.
It doesn't need to be your traditional pets, your cats, your dogs, your guinea pigs.
It can just be something in your backyard, like a koala.
Yeah. I subscribed for the April Atonement. I wanted to win the Pet Portrait Prize.
Uh-huh.
I subscribed a possum that lives in the shed, with big dangly balls. And I was hoping to win that. Unfortunately, I didn't. Anyone who did win that prize, I'd love to hear what pet you're getting the portrait done of. But yeah, it doesn't have to be a pet. It can be tardigrades or velvet worms or
bush turkeys.
Bush turkeys.
I love a good bush turkey.
A noisy miner that just wakes you up every morning.
They do live up to their name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can subscribe for as low as $25, or you could subscribe for a passion amount, $140. You got a cool t-shirt and tote bag with that one as well.
Yep.
And if you subscribe during May, you can enter the draw to win a voucher valued at $264 from the Round Table Coffee.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love extra coffee?
Yeah. Coffee makes the world go round. But yeah, and if you subscribe in this month, you have a higher statistically speaking, you have a higher chance of winning because less people are subscribing.
True. I didn't think about that. But also, like, yeah, if you're super keen on coffee, then maybe you can subscribe multiple times, as always.
Yeah.
Enter like raffle,
different tiers.
Enter raffle territory for it, you know.
Yeah.
What's been going on in your life, Dave?
Well, I've actually got an art exhibition up.
That's at the Scratch Bar?
At Scratch Bar in Milton, and I was on Artache last Friday talking about it with Drew. Drew's very nice, very friendly, and really nice, relaxed interview. I enjoyed that a lot. Art's not usually something that's considered eco-friendly. Especially acrylics. Acrylics are plastic. Plastics come from oil. Oil paints, not oil. They're fats and that sort of seed oils.
Oily, not oil.
Yeah. So I paint in oils, and I do it on offcuts of plywood, and I get the offcuts of plywood and the offcuts of framing timber from Reverse Garbage, Queensland, which is a place where I volunteer as well, and that's always nice to be a part of like this community. Scratch Bar's a 4ZZZ discount outlet. Reverse Garbage Queensland is a 4ZZZ discount outlet.
Oh, I bought something from there recently and paid the full $2 for it.
Full? You could have gotten 10% off that, which is probably like $1.90 or something.
Yeah.
It's nice to have this like community where everything just like fits together in this circular economy of getting discounts at different 4ZZZ outlets.
It'll pay itself if you buy enough things.
It does eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm not good at maths, but I know that.
That sounds like not a bad idea for potentially a future segment on Eco Radio, how to be environmentally friendly while producing art.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That could be an interesting one.
That could be interesting. Probably the most eco-friendly thing is to make everything out of scraps. So I know that they're doing a needlework workshop at Reverse Garbage maybe this weekend or next weekend, and that's using scrap, like people have thrown away thread and it's reusing that to make an artwork in some thrown away fabric. And it's really interesting, the different ways that people use thrown away objects to create art.
That's cool. I'm doing a uni project about a bush turkey that's turned into a person. It's kind of fun.
What's that,
it's a
fan fiction?
I guess so. It's like a
writing class,
multimedia thing. So we've made like a short documentary about a bush turkey that's turned into a student at UQ.
What does a bush turkey that's turned into a student look like? Very sunburnt? Very red sunburnt head, bald or like balding.
They just love yellow scarves.
Yep, with a bright yellow scarf and all black clothes.
Yeah. That's what we've got going for it. It all it goes around. It's still like kicking, sticks around on campus. In the story, they're going for UQ Union Student President and running a very pro bush turkey campaign. So this is like, people can drag sticks into any building they want, or
I'm pro that.
Full rights for scavengers.
Yep,
you should just be able to snatch food out of other people's hands.
Yeah, because bush turkeys aren't turkeys; they're closely related to vultures.
Megapodes.
Yeah,
that's the family name that they're in.
Oh, okay.
There was some other kind. It's like a lot of ground-dwelling birds. I think there's like 17 species in the family, but it just translates to Bigfoot.
Ah.
Yeah. Mega being big.
Yeah, pod. Yeah. Foot, yeah. Right. Like how they used to call the southern hemisphere the Antipodean.
Antipodean?
Yeah, it's like upside down foot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like other foot. Yeah.
Well, I know like decapods, which is 10 feet. That's for crabs.
Oh, yeah.
Crabs, lobsters, that sort of thing.
They're just, like, the Latin stuff is just really into feet.
It is.
It's just
now
like,
that I think about it.
Whoever was, like, the Latin namer is just, like, the Quentin Tarantino of Latin naming. Yeah, it's just like, well, I'm checking out those feet when I'm down there. They're 10 feet. I'm checking out these upside down feet.
I can't... So I don't know if this is factually correct or not, but the name Arctic, right, that comes from the Latin word arctos, which means bear. Mm-hmm. But then you've got the Antarctic.
Which is no bear.
No bear.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah.
It's a good way to describe it. You go up to the Arctic and you're like...
And you got bears.
There's bears here.
Yeah.
You go down there like,
Antarctic. No bears. Penguins, though.
Synced up on that one.
Yeah, we like syncing up
occasionally.
Cool. All right. So yeah, a bush turkey turned into a student.
Yeah, that's a bit silly. It was a bit fun.
Yeah. Have you got a pet subscription for that bush turkey student?
Oh, they're not in my backyard, so I can't.
Fair enough.
Shame. Yeah. Yeah, there was. I think I wrote into it. There was, since the person who's turned into a bush turkey is a dude. There was one point where he was chasing around sultry-looking female bush turkeys, which I think is a very funny sentence to write.
Yeah, they're always chasing each other around.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like a hot-looking bush turkey is. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you can think about that all you want, Zach. Marky texted in, though. We were talking to Brisbane South Koala Rescue, and Marky was like, he's working in all those different places.
Yeah, he's doing bush regeneration out there.
Yeah, and calls John when they do find a koala that's not looking healthy, which you can tell by the butts.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's like a really rusty coloured butt, yeah, not good.
Oh, well, look, I was being shamed for calling a bush turkey sultry, but then you're out here looking at koala butts. Yeah.
They're cute. They're cute little butts. I can't help it, even when they are sick looking.
You're listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future.
You are listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future. Thank you, small child. We got it.
We're on the money.
We don't even.
Time now.
It's not even like a big thing when we do it now.
Nah.
It took us like a couple months, but we got there. We just heard from the Bug Club with their song A Prioriate Emotions. I said that one a lot faster this time, so
Yeah, good work.
thank you.
You were practicing it.
In my head, yeah. But you had an interesting fact about the origin of the Latin name for koala.
Oh yeah, not to do with feet at all. Even
That's
though,
surprising.
like, yeah, because they've got a double thumb thing going on.
Do
like, Yeah, they've got an opposable thumb.
Oh, why
They've
am I
also got fingerprints.
I knew that one.
Yeah,
They should be smarter then if they've got an opposable thumb, right?
I don't know.
I thought that was like a big thing in our development is...
Well, they've got that double thumb thing going on, but the Latin name actually means pouched ash grey colour. So yeah, not to do with feet at all.
They got that one right.
Yep.
It definitely is pouched and ash grey.
Yeah,
You can tell...
very basic. Yeah,
It must be like a reptile scientist who named it or something like that. I say that purely because with like lots of reptiles, it's just like, oh, this is a northern three-toed skink, and it's like, yeah, that's what it is, you know.
Yeah,
But then
okay.
with like big cats, for example, they all get their own distinct name, like lion, tiger, jaguar. It's like, what if we were to just call a tiger, like a Siberian tiger,
yeah.
like
Then they get
a
Siberian
white stripy cat?
white stripy four-pawed cat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, differences in nomenclature there. But what there is a big difference in you doing, I'm really trying at the segue here. Plant more habitat for, to plant more habitat for northern striped big pawed cats.
Yeah.
You can do a little thing called the Bushcare Roundup, which we definitely have here in Australia.
It's a Bushcare Roundup. They've been pulling out weeds and then they put in trees. It's the Bushcare Roundup.
So happening Wednesday, that is today, at 5:30 tonight or this afternoon, you can go to the Biodiversity Collage Brisbane World Bee Day. That's happening at Walkabout Creek Discovery Centre at the Enoggera Reservoir. On Saturday at 7:30, kicking off in the morning, you can go to the Anstead Bushland Reserve Birdwalk. That's happening 582 Hawkesbury Road in Anstead. At 8 o'clock, you can go to the Moreton Bay R.O.B building work bee. That's robust oyster baskets to replace that oyster reef off the Port of Brisbane. That's happening in Whimbrel Street in the Port of Brisbane. At 9 o'clock on Saturday, you can go to the Little Cabbage Tree Creek Bushcare Working Bee. That's happening at Chermside Hills Reserve, 412 Trouts Road.
On Sunday the 25th from 7 till 10, there is the UQ Gem St. Lucia Working Bee. That one is at Tarcoola Street, St. Lucia. I'm a part of the UQ Gems group, so I may or may not be along there at some point.
Yeah, cool.
I'll be working till midnight the night before, though, so maybe not. On Sunday the 25th as well, from 8 till 10, there is the Great Koala Count at Whites Hill Reserve Park at 258 Boundary Road, Camp Hill. Then from 9 till 3 p.m, there is a Sustainable Brisbane Festival at Roma Street, Parkland.
Yeah, that used to be the Green Heart Fair. It's been changed to Sustainable Brisbane Fair.
And then on Tuesday the 27th, there from 8 till 1 p.m, there is the Ocean Crusaders Hardcore River Cleanup at Cold Gardener Drive in Morningside.
Yeah, and that's all we've got time for. Thanks very much for listening. We're going to send you off to the wonderful whimsy of Jordan on Sonic Aliens.
They will be playing an interview they did with, I'm not sure on the pronunciation of this, but D-I-I-V, Div.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Not cool enough.
I'm not cool enough.
Jordan's the only one that's cool enough to know this.
Yeah. Yeah, listen to Jordan. I don't know why you bother listening to us sometimes where you don't hit the right cool factor with it. But anyway.
We're nerds.
We're nerds. We just talked about Latin names for like 10 minutes.
That's right.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be finishing up with The Conversation by Koala Rescue. They will be playing tonight in Brisbane somewhere. I may be along to that. So
Yeah,
if you
cool.
want to develop that parasocial relationship you have with me, I can sign some autographs potentially.
Yeah, look for the
Give me some
young guy.
gifts.
Young guy looks like Heath Ledger in two hands.
Yeah, even though I'm like 7 years older than he was in that one, but I'll take it.